Okay, so obviously I know who you are, but would you please introduce yourself and your channel to YouTube?
So my name is Susie, and my channel is I Run Things. And in that channel, I talk a lot, obviously, about running, races that I'm doing right now. All of them have been either canceled or postponed, but I talk about my training, and I basically try to motivate others and stay motivated myself. It's accountability for me, but it's also trying to help other people when they need that extra boost for motivation purposes.
Amazing. And obviously I've been watching your channel now for a very long time,
I
and I've
know.
seen all sorts of evolutions that you've gone through with your training, with your running, and all sorts of other achievements as well. And you also have videos that integrate your family life, which I think is really special to have a platform where it's not just solely focused on the running side of things, but it's the bigger picture about you as a person, which I really value as a watcher. I find that really quite fascinating. I know that you were due to go out to Japan, if I'm not mistaken, which was cancelled. But yeah, I think I would just add to what you said, that if anybody is interested in viewing your channel, and I'm sure many of the people that watch my channel probably also watch yours, I'll put the links down below, but I would advise people to go back into the archives and see some of the videos you did when you went to different countries, did some running, one in London, for example. And yeah, just you've got a real breadth of content on your channel.
Yeah, well, I have running really is my passion, but I love traveling. So I'm glad I can still keep my running going now that obviously we can't go anywhere. But in my channel, I try to film vlogs when we go overseas. I live in the United States right now, but my family's all in Spain, so we go visit often, at least once a year. So when we go there, I try to film things that I think may be interesting for others in case they're curious about, places they could potentially travel to. So
yeah.
But so thank you for your encouragement.
No, of course. And you mentioned running being a passion. Is that something that you've always been interested in before YouTube? Because it's a relatively recent thing, you having a YouTube channel in terms of kind of the span of years. But is it something that you've always been really interested and involved in, or is it something that's relatively new?
So to me, I've always been active, but not in a structured kind of way. Like I had spurts during the course of my life where I would go to the gym, sign up, go 6 months, very consistently, and then stop going and choosing something else. But running to me has been that one thing where I was always very jealous when I saw people running on the street. I have a friend who travels, not now, but for work, for business, she used to travel everywhere. And she would post on Facebook pictures of herself running in Paris and running in London and running in Seoul and I don't know, crazy places. So I thought this is a really cool activity that if I were to try, I could do anywhere. It's not like you don't have to, you just need your sneakers and shorts or, whatever clothing, and you just go outside and run. So it's so versatile. So I really started running because my brother dared me to run a 10K with him. So that really was it. I needed a little push, and that was it. So and of course it was hard in the beginning. It's not like you go out the door and at least it wasn't easy for me. You have to work up to those first 10K.
Absolutely, and that's something that I just ended up finding my feet with by accident. I didn't have anybody in my family who's ever done any running or pushed me, so it was very much trial and error. But yeah, you see, again, you mentioned your brother. It's just nice to have some reason to do it. I think a lot of people stumble into running through a dare or through a commitment to an event, and then before they know it, they're getting involved and it becomes more of a lifestyle. But a lot of people that I know especially started because they decided they want to run a marathon, or they decided they want to run a couch to 5K, for example. But it came out of a will to do something either personally or because somebody else challenged them. And that's, again, really special to have somebody in your family who says, I bet you can't do it. And just makes you feel something inside that allows you to push yourself further than if you were similar to the gym, really. I found that because there was no element of challenge there and I could just stop, I did. And that's where that cycle of a few months and, I just won't go down there. But if you know a race is coming up, especially if you paid money for it, there is that feeling like, I'm going to be there at the start line. I need to be ready for it or I'm going to be in trouble.
Right. There's that commitment that when you sign up for a race, you know you're going to have to, no one's really watching, but especially for that first race, to me, it felt so, wow, I'm running a race. Like, I am a runner. Like, I remember one of the first times I went out to run longer, because you start small, obviously. At least I started small. I started running 2 kilometers and then 2.5 and then 3. The first time that I actually ran long, I remember going on this trail and there was a family coming over and the path was very narrow. And the mom tells the kids that were following her on their bikes, watch out, there's a runner. And I looked behind because I was like, where's the runner? There's no runners. And then I realized, oh, shoot, they're talking about me. And I felt so special because I was like, okay, I'm there. Now I am a runner. Like, you need someone else to validate that you really are, that others see you as a runner. So it took me a while to really embrace the reality that I was a runner. So I did not start my YouTube channel till I really thought, okay, these that I went through may help others, because others that are starting now may be experiencing similar things. So it was more necessary to help others as much as have a diary for my own feelings and how my training was going, something to go back to and say, okay, this is where I was a year ago, and I've come a long way. So
yeah, when I speak to people who are very reluctant to start running, I always remind them that in my first marathon especially, I was passed by people of all ages, different shapes and sizes. There really is no set criteria for what makes you a runner. You do a park run, you're passed by somebody who's running with a buggy. You're passed by a 13-year-old with some track experience. You're passed by somebody who's 60 plus. And I just say to people, it's not about that. It's, you're able to walk if you're fortunate enough to have that. To progress to running is a process that anybody can go through, and you can embrace that. But I do have to remind people, it really is not about being a certain size, a certain look. That may be something that they feel. It might be the vision of watching the Olympics or watching something on TV, but the reality is so very, very different. And I do think, again, for me, for a long time, I was just running. I wasn't a runner. I was just doing something quicker than walking. And then after a little while, I started to think, well, actually, similar to you, I was behind some people who were walking with a horse, strangely, and she turned around shouting, runner, runner, please go over the other side of the road, which I did. But I thought, runner, oh, hey, runner, here, that's thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah,
like, wow.
Yes, that is me. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. But then when you think about that first race you do, would you say that's your proudest running achievement, or is there another race or moment that would be the proudest for you?
Oof, every race is different. This is a tough question. I think I am the proudest when I have the most fun. So that first race for me was a lot of fun because it was my first race, and I ran with my brother, although he finished 10 minutes before me. So we ran the same race, we didn't run together. But I was very proud of my Philadelphia Marathon because I worked super hard, and I had a lot of fun. I mean, a marathon is one heck of a challenge. It's not for the faint of heart. So just the fact that I finished at a time that I was anticipating I could do, to me, I was really proud of that. But recently I ran a half marathon. I ended at, to me, that's like, some people are gonna laugh, 2 hours and 9 minutes, which to me, I was trying to go under 2 hours and 12 minutes forever. Like for 2 years, I was trying to go under 2 hours and 12 minutes. And then I ran that half marathon and I had so much fun. I filmed, it's on my YouTube channel, but I filmed the whole race. I'm smiling the whole time. I go through the finish line and I'm like, okay, so I think I did 2 hours 10. And then when I stopped my Fitbit, I really checked. I'm like, wait a second, I did 2 hours and 9. And then for some reason, it doesn't matter if it's 2:10 or 2:09. I was under the 2:12 anyway. But I started crying because it was like, I was so proud of myself. Like, okay, this was, because for some time I thought it was impossible. You know, it's like you keep trying and trying and trying. How many races can you run when you're not improving? So you feel a little bit like, okay, yes, I can do this, but when is it going to happen? So consistency pays off. That's all I'm going to say. Just keep pushing yourself.
Yeah, I recall watching that video, and then at the end there's that very emotional moment, and I could really relate to it. And I think that race for you could be a 5K to somebody else or a 10K, and you can associate the feeling of achievement with all sorts of different things. And again, it is down to the person. What was special to you or what was important to you is different to everybody. And when I reflect now, further on, my second marathon, I did not have as much fun doing. First marathon I did, the second marathon, I loved the training block, but got way too focused on time. And my reflection, when I even look back at the vlog of that day, I can see in my face, I'm disheartened by missing out on a time. And I think if I just relaxed and had more fun with it and given myself permission to jog, rather than just feel like it's got to be a set pace. It's just interesting how that, again, evolves over time. You look back at the videos, and this is why I think it's good that you put up those raw moments. You left that in at the end, and you can look back at that video and think, I remember that feeling on the day and why a second, a minute, 2 minutes made so much difference to me.
Right. I remember I ran 5K very, very early on. And I was like, I thought, okay, I'm just going to run as fast as I can. I don't mind. I hit the wall. I don't mind if I slow down halfway through it. I'm just going to go as fast. I was testing myself. So I'm going fast, 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 fast. And I could hear two people, one to my left and one to my right. And I didn't want to look back. I could see the finish line. This tells you everything you need to know about, I was feeling so strong. Like, okay, I'm going to, like, these people are not going to pass me. And again, I didn't want to look. So when I'm like getting close to the finish line, the person to my left, I could hear him. At least in my mind, I thought it has to be a he. He was breathing super, super heavy. Like, and in my mind, I was like, this poor guy, he's going to have a heart attack or something. Like, and I didn't want to look because I didn't want him to feel self-conscious. And then the guy on the right passes me like flying, pushing a stroller with two kids. And he flies by me and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to speed up. And I'm trying. And then I see a shade coming through the left. This guy passes me like super fast too. The guy who was breathing heavy. And I was like, at that moment, I noticed that I was letting my feelings get the best of me. Like I was like, my mind was not in control, which is also important when you're running. But the guy to the left, for some reason, if I saw him on the street, I would remember him like to this day, because I thought he's at least 70 years old. He was this skinny guy, like, and I was like, oh my God, a guy who was probably 70 passed me like in the last 10 meters of the race. Like, how did this happen? I was so angry at myself. So I went to see the list of people they were printing. This was a local race, like a tiny race. So they were printing on the list of the people. I was like, I'm going to look for this guy because he just crossed the finish line right before me. So I go to look at him. He was 82. I'm like, oh my word. And then like this, I thought, I want to be that guy when I'm 82. Like I want to be passing a 40-something-year-old chick flying on the left, it was so motivational. It's those little moments, like we are all different. So, but you don't have to, you run your own race. That's something that I learned from that particular 5K. I'm running my own race. I don't care what the others are doing, because where they're coming from is completely different to where I'm coming from. I came a long way. I just started running 3 years ago. So, well, three and a few months. So I'm still learning, and we are all still learning, but there's that learning curve in the beginning of your journey. You have to be kind to yourself. You know, not every single race is perfect. Not every single run is just wonderful. Some runs are, I did just in a 10 miler this one that was awful. I was on mile 7 and I was like, oh my God. I needed to go back home. So that's the only reason why I actually kept running, because it was like, this is going to be forever. But it was not, I mean, they do not define you. That's something I've heard from other runners. A bad run does not define you. You're not, it doesn't qualify who you are as a runner. There are good runs, there are bad runs, and there's a bunch of runs that just are. So.
Yeah, I remember before I really focused too much on times and on my watch, I'd set a 5K and a 10K and a half marathon time back within the first 6 months of running. I've yet to beat those times. I don't know how I did it, but it was probably because I didn't really overthink anything. I just went out the door. I didn't warm up. I probably had the wrong shoes on, and I just ran. And it was on my old Garmin watch. I just probably clicked it through, saved it somewhere on Strava, and forgot all about it. It was only when I got better technology I started to realize I can maybe have a look at my fastest times. And I looked and it said 2018 or 19, really early 2019. I thought, what's going on here? Who's that person? But it was me, and I'm yet to beat that half marathon time. The only time I attempted to beat it, I was exactly on the second. So now I've got 2 half marathons exactly to the second. But
that's amazing.
It was amazing. But the second time I tried to do it, I was trying really hard. Yet the first time I did it, I'm sure I was a lot more relaxed and more carefree and had no real understanding probably of pace, and just went for it because it was a bit of fun. So like you say, it's all about it's you on the day, and some days you have a good day, some days you have a bad day, but you can enter as many races as you want. You can do as many training sessions as you want, and some will be great and some will be awful. And it's just about detaching yourself emotionally from it and just seeing it as part of the course. Like everything in families, jobs, you can't always have a good day every day.
Right.
And actually, speaking about the kind of wearing the wrong things and kit, what are your feelings about kit? Do you find you've really found exactly what you like to wear now in terms of the clothing, in terms of shoes, or is that something that you continue to tweak and change based on either reviews or experience?
I struggle all the time. Like there's sometimes I get warm really quickly. Like I get hot when I'm running really quickly, but at the started line, I'm always cold. So I'm constantly struggling. I'm one of those that carries, like I start a race with a ton of clothing on and then I just toss it. I'm glad that races give stuff away for charities, because I do that all the time. So no, and it's the same way with shoes. Like I run in new shoes and I like them for the first 200 miles and then I don't like them anymore. So I don't know. I guess I like experimenting. I find it very, trying out new things makes me happy. I don't know if some people are creatures of habits, they like the same shoes. Like I have a friend who's a runner too. He always runs in the Brooks Glycerin. That's all he uses. Like he likes them. He keeps buying. He rotates 3 pairs. It's always the same shoes, different colors. To me, I like experimenting and trying out new shoes every single time. I think the only pair of shoes that I actually bought 2 of were the Asics, the Cumulus. I had 2 pairs at one point. That's it. Every other pair I bought is just a new, and I like trying new brands too. So I've had Nikes, I've had Asics, I've had Brooks, I've had Adidas, I've had Under Armour. I ran my Philadelphia Marathon in Under Armour, actually. So I don't think I have found. I just like experimenting. Maybe, I don't know. At one point, I'll say, okay, this is the shoes that I want to run in always. But it's just, I don't have anything that I say, okay, this is my race kit that I really want to wear. I like changing things up.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I've had a few pieces of kit that I keep coming back to, but when I think about the time when I found the pair of shorts that I loved, I ran my first 2 marathons in them, but I've not worn that pair of shorts for probably 8 months because I found another pair of shorts I liked, and then another pair, and then I discovered again different brand of shoes. I had Brooks from day one. I really felt like it was going to get to the stage where I was going to be a Brooks person. Glycerins, I had 3 pairs of glycerins, but now they're just day-to-day trainers if they get any use at all, because I just don't use them.
Right.
And I think there is so much out there now, it does become very difficult to be able to pinpoint exactly what you should buy unless you've got the opportunity to try it on, because it is a complete minefield. And so many people now, I think, are recognizing the wealth of the market and what's available to them, the consumers, and how much they will pay, that I've just started to kind of rein it in. I'll use what I've got right now, and if it comes a point where I need to get something specific, then I'll have to do some proper research and go into store, because I was doing a lot of just click to buy. I watched a review today on shoes and I hovered over to buy the pair of shoes, and then I just thought, well, what am I doing this for? I've got a pair of shoes I like. Why am I buying a pair of shoes? So I think it's something that I didn't think about when I started running, and I kind of want to have that mindset again of just me going to the shop, buying a vest, buying a t-shirt, buying some shorts, buying some shoes, and being done with it. But now I feel like I'm a little bit overwhelmed, especially at the thought of, if you buy these shoes, you might run 3 minutes faster. Well, I quite like that 3-minute PB. Should I spend £180 a pair of shoes?
I think when you find a pair that suits you, that you feel comfortable with, and that's not going to break the bank, I'm fine with it. I don't need to have the most expensive shoes. I don't care what other people are wearing. I want to feel comfortable in the shoes that I'm using. So right now I'm alternating in between the Brooks Launch and the Adidas, are they the Ultraboost? No, the Boston 8. I'm happy with them. When my Launch die, which they have probably 400 miles on them, I think I'm just gonna see, okay, which ones I want to try. So I'm just not loyal. What I do, whoever's watching this, my recommendation is always, if you're gonna run a race, run that race in the shoes that you feel comfortable with. Don't try out anything new, because you could get an injury, you could get blisters, anything could happen. You could be really uncomfortable, and you don't want to run a race being uncomfortable. You have to be very comfortable. So anything that you try, don't try it on race day. Try it on a day that you're going around your neighborhood for a short run. Because sometimes shorts right up and they're really uncomfortable.
I agree. That is something that I've discovered recently, and I wonder whether it was maybe a change in my body. But now I've noticed that they are proving to be quite frustrating. But that's again what happens when you start buying something that you feel will be correct, and then when you put them on and you go out for that run, you realise it might look right, but it just doesn't feel right. And even when I did my first marathon, I bought a new pair of shoes, the same model, same brand, everything. But when I put them on 2 or 3 weeks before, they just didn't feel right. So I ended up wearing a shoe that had, I don't know how many miles, 200 miles in them, maybe less, maybe more. But I wore those on race day because it just didn't feel right to wear what was essentially just a different colour, but they didn't fit. There was something about them that was off. And I was quite proud, actually, again, when I think back, that I made that decision and didn't just go with what I had been told to do, which was wear a new pair of shoes in a few weeks before race day, make sure they've got enough spring in them, that will give you more power, more this, more drive. I don't know, maybe it would have done, but I just didn't feel right. I felt a little bit nervous about that moment. I've got an interesting question to ask you. I had a look on your YouTube today. We've spoken about this before offline, and you've got a video on your YouTube channel that has 143,000 views.
I know. That's really funny because when I was trying when I started my channel, I was thinking about different videos I could do. So I told my husband, we had a really fun conversation. I said, I'm just gonna wash my tennis shoes, my sneakers, my running shoes, and I'm going to film myself washing the shoes. And he was like, who's gonna want to watch a video of you cleaning your shoes? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna. And then it just spiked. I think it was picked up by the algorithm or something. It has 140,000 views. It's crazy. I'm just cleaning shoes with my toothbrush. I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I'm grateful that people want to watch. It's still out there. I mean, if you Google how to clean your running shoes, my video is up on top of the Google page and the YouTube page, like up there consistently. It's just crazy. I didn't do anything.
Because the last time we spoke about our videos, I think I mentioned to you that one of mine is about a bag that I actually really hate. I truly hate that bag, and yet it has something like 16,500 views. And I'm just unpleasant about it. I don't say anything particularly positive. It was filmed in the most blurry environment. I've actually even gone back and updated the little description box down below to say, please view this at a quicker speed because I'm very tedious with how slow I speak. But it's just, YouTube is funny. It is really funny that you can put hundreds of videos up about your running journey and your passion, your commitment. And then you put another random video up about just something and people love it. People want to view how to clean shoes, what a pizza tastes like in my case, how bad a bag is. I find YouTube funny. I find it very funny.
It is very interesting. Sometimes I'm like, one thing that I want to do with my channel is to really be very meticulous about how I'm editing, which not always I have the time to do everything that I want to do with a video. But sometimes it takes me 5 hours to edit a video and then it gets 100 views. So sometimes, I mean, I do it because I want to do it. So, but it makes you wonder, some other times you put something up there that took you 15 minutes to film and an hour to edit with all the bells and whistles and music and everything. And then it gets a lot more views. So you're right. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I've seen some people's channels just absolutely explode with subscribers and their videos are just point and shoot. No editing at all, just straight up. And I've equally seen some people who clearly do a job which is more or less fit for cinema and it's absolutely spectacular. And then their subscriber count is very low or their viewing figures are very low. But like you say, if you love it and if you are really involved in the process and you want to see it all the way through to editing and beyond that, that's absolutely amazing. But like you, it's finding a balance between how much time I would want to commit to editing a video, which is essentially me just running at my face and my face and my face. I don't have a drone. I don't have somebody else filming on a bike. I just don't have that setup. So really, for me to put the camera down, run over the camera, turn the camera, run over the camera, put it in a tree, run past a tree, I've got to think about whether that's a necessity for what I do. And it's just pretty much, I like a point and shoot. I like to just film it, edit it, no transitions, similar music. That's me.
I have I think I have like 10 different songs that I use all the time. I just rotate them because I don't want it to be too repetitive. But I don't, sometimes I get messages on Instagram, especially of people who want to start YouTube channels. And they ask me, my answer is always like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Like this morning or last night, someone messaged me asking, so how do you do your music? And I'm like, I just go to this YouTube channel. You can download their music for free. You can use it for free and just whatever you feel like using. I mean, there's no real, you have to do, we really are creators that happen to run or runners that happen to create, whichever way you want to look at it. So you have to do the video that you would like to watch. That's really what it comes down to. When I put out a video, I always wonder, would I want to watch this video myself? Because if the answer is no, then I'm not going to put it out there. I have a lot of footage of stuff, rambling thoughts, me talking to the camera and not really saying anything that I would want to hear anybody else talking about. So then I'm just not going to make a video about that. So, but if the content is something that satisfies me and makes me happy, and I think someone else out there maybe, it may make them, I don't know, better runners, or they would just, like, I filmed my run today. It was not the best run ever. It's probably one of my top few worst runs. But I think people need to see that not every run is perfect. So I'm going to probably edit it and put it up Monday or Tuesday on my YouTube channel. So
yeah, I've put up some videos where I'm just disappointed, and I think people need to see that my journey does involve some ups and downs. Otherwise, it's a bit pointless me being very, very selective and only showing people that nothing goes wrong with me and I'm fine and I can do PBs whenever I want. It's not like that. When I did the whole physio thing, I sat at home and I thought, well, should I put this up? Because basically what I'm telling people is, don't come back to my channel for a while. I've got no running content for you. And I just thought, well, if I just talk through the process of me getting back to running, that was probably of some value. And
right.
People are still discovering it now. And somebody the other day messaged or put a comment on there, then found me on Instagram and just said, I really appreciate this video because I'm going through the same thing. And you've given me a little bit of hope that you can get back to running, which, well, then it was worth putting the video up. But at the time of me filming it, all I was actually thinking was I should probably tell the community that I'm not going to be doing a lot in the next few weeks. And if they want to continue to watch, they can. If they don't want to, that's okay as well. So I think sometimes it's about thinking beyond the moment in time and recognizing that people will type in bad run. What happens when I get a blister? All of those different things which you think about, but maybe don't record a video on. Which leads me to my last and final point. We could talk for hours, of course, but I appreciate that you have got a life as well, despite being in this lockdown situation. So my question for you is, what is next? What is next for you on the channel? What should we be looking forward to seeing?
So I think I have a few videos that I want to upload. So I was doing the 9+1, which is the guaranteed, if you do 9 races with the New York Route Runners and you volunteer for one of the races during a year, you qualify for the New York City Marathon for the following year. So I wanted to do an update on that situation because it doesn't seem like, New York has been hit hard with coronavirus. It's been all over the news. So I don't think any of the races are going to be run, which makes for a funny situation because now I pay for all these races. I've run 3 of them, and the other 6 are probably not going to happen, but they're going to give me credit anyway for the New York City Marathon. So I'm going to get my bib. I don't have to go through the lottery for 2021. But I wanted to explain the situation because there's people wondering if they should ask for their money back and not get the credit towards New York City Marathon. So I just wanted to put my thoughts in a video there. In terms of races, Broad Street, which is a 10-miler here in Philadelphia, that's the most popular 10-miler in the country. They postponed it till October. So I'm hoping that it happens. If it doesn't, there's nothing we can do really, so we have to stay positive and keep running. But in terms of races, I wish, if it happens, it would be great if the situation got under control enough that we could run Broad Street, which is, it's a beautiful race all throughout the streets of Philadelphia. And I would love to run Philadelphia Marathon again because I had it was such an amazing experience. I would love to run it. But I'm really thinking about next year, right? At this point, I just can't wait for next year to hit so I can run New York City Marathon. That's really, I'm sure there's many people with the same feelings, especially when you like being outside and being active and running your races. It's kind of a bummer, but there's nothing we can do other than, keep running, stay fit for when they open up the races, we can sign up and run again.
Yeah, I think it's just about embracing it, isn't it? We can't change what's happening. And so instead of feeling like you need to do a certain training plan because the race is going to happen, I think just run, enjoy it. And if something gets rescheduled and you're lucky enough to get it done in 2020, brilliant. But otherwise, I'm just focusing on a fresh start in 2021. And I'll just run for enjoyment. And if I lose a bit of fitness, I lose it. If I gain a bit, I gain a bit. But essentially, I'm not going to go out of my way to put myself in a position where then I'm disappointed if something doesn't come off, because that again is, I think, for that kind of mental, that positivity, you don't want to be getting around to October and feeling like, oh, today was a rescheduled day.
Right.
It's out of our hands. It's completely out of our hands, isn't it? So
there's nothing we can do. Yeah, and I think we might. We don't know what's going to happen, so I just don't want to be disappointed. So anything that happens this year is going to be a bonus race for me. I'm going to be extremely happy. I'm going to do my best and train for it and give it my best, because you never know. Nothing's guaranteed. So I think this was a good, not good, but what I'm hearing from everyone is that this gives you the opportunity to focus on what really matters, which is, being home with your family, enjoying time spent with your family, and just going back to basics. Playing a good old, board game.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I found myself running less for that reason. I think that I was running because I had to do so many runs a week and build up mileage, but now I've got the choice not to. Some days I just don't, and sometimes it's a couple of days I just don't run. And I'm very happy with that. And I'm perfectly content. And then the day I do go out and run, which will probably be tomorrow now, I'll love it, enjoy it. And some runs I film, some runs I don't. Some runs I track on my watch, some runs I don't. And it's just like you say, get back to basics, doing what really matters.
Right.
So with that said, let's conclude this video. I will, of course, put all the links to your social media in the description box below. And I hope you have a lovely evening, rest of your day. And no doubt we will catch up soon in the comments.
Catch up with you soon. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to, do this interview for your channel.
No problem at all. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Okay. See you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.